my name is Eileen Zanarios from Flex Counseling and Wellness. These video yoga courses are intended for you to enjoy yoga in the comfort of your own home, at your own pace. As always, with any physical activity, make sure that your doctor approves you for physical activity, such as yoga, stretching, and that sort of thing. If you're not sure, ask. These classes are designed with a trauma-informed approach, which means that I will provide several suggestions for you, and it will be up to you to decide what works for you and your body. So beginning on our knees in our child's pose, we'll sit back towards our heels. Inviting the forehead down, either resting on a block or resting on the ground. Arms can stretch forward, fingertips spread wide, palms on the mat. As another option, you can reach back towards your heels and kind of tuck in. And just invite your body to settle on the mat. Feeling the gravity, feeling the ground beneath your body. And as you shift away from whatever you were doing before, now you're shifting into your yoga mindset, the present moment, anchoring the mind on the breath, allowing the thoughts to float on by. If you're feeling any tension in your body, invite it to soften and melt away. Begin to make your way up to an all-fours posture and find a comfortable seated position. So you may cross your legs if it feels right. If that does not feel right, you can find a different way to sit. Sometimes people like to sit on a foam block or grab a blanket. These nice yoga blankets can be great to just place underneath between your seat and your mat to allow for a little bit more comfort. We're going to do some neck and gentle shoulder stretches to begin our practice. So to start, find a long spine. Invite the heart to open, shoulder blades to kiss together on the back ever so gently. Chin is tucked in a little bit. Just find some breaths with this posture. And then we'll begin making some circles with our shoulders. Your circles can be as large or as small as feels good in your body today. And then you'll switch directions with your circles. Notice if you're feeling tension and just invite that tension to leave the body. And then when you're ready, just find a comfortable centered posture. We're going to slowly take our right ear towards our right shoulder, just very gentle. Inviting the left side of the neck to open, allowing the body to open. Notice if you're clenching your jaw. It's a common place for us to hold on to tension and stress. Just invite that jaw to soften. And then slowly bring the head back through center. And then take the left ear towards the left shoulder, allowing the right side of the neck to open. So in our yoga practice, we want our bodies to just open naturally and gently. So no forcing, just allow the neck to open as much as it works. And that might feel like just a little bit of movement for you, or it might feel like a lot. There's no right or wrong. Slowly bring the head back through center. And next, this next stretch is helpful if you have a strap, which I do, or if you have a hand towel. Something you could even use, I don't know, a shirt or a hoodie or something if you want to. All we're trying to do is get some length between our hands, so something to grab onto. So we're going to take the strap into our right hand, stretch our right arm up towards the sky, and then bend the elbow, and then left hand reaches back and grabs for the stretching item. So again, you could see it could be a towel, could be a hoodie, could be a strap, whatever you have. And we'll just rest here. Allowing the back of the arm to open and the heart to open. If anyone sits a lot in their job, at a desk or in a car, we kind of hunch forward, and that can really bring a lot of tension into our neck and our upper back area. So this stretch kind of counteracts that. So it might feel a little uncomfortable for you at first because your shoulders and your back might be used to rounding the other way if you're holding onto the steering wheel or typing in a keyboard. So this is one of those stretches I recommend doing often, depending on what your job is. You might even want to do this stretch like every day. It's easy, it doesn't take too long. So we're going to slowly allow our bind to unwind and start to make some circles with the shoulders again. You might feel that blood flowing back in where it was constricted. And we'll switch hands. Take the left arm up to the sky, bend the elbow, and reach back. And this one too, you may notice that your left arm feels a lot different than your right arm. So throughout our day, we tend to do more things with our dominant hand. And so our tightness may not be evenly distributed in our body. I'm just inviting the mind to the breath. Feeling that tension leave the body. If you notice thoughts come up, just allow them to come on up and then float on by. No forcing, just allowing. And then we'll slowly release. And then we'll find some circles. And then we'll unwrap our legs and we'll find some windshield washers with our legs. Our knees go side to side like a set of windshield washers. Starting to open the hips a little bit. And then from here, we're going to make our way to our downward facing dog. So finding an all fours posture. Don't worry, that wasn't me, that was just the block. Hands come forward, toes tuck under, and we find our inverted V, stretching into our downward facing dog. So beginning in our downward facing dog, we'll do a series of sun salutation B, and we'll do maybe 3 or 4 rounds. We'll see how far we get. And we're going to attempt 1 breath per movement.
So just know that if you fumble a little bit in the beginning, it's okay. We'll do enough rounds that you'll catch up, and you'll notice too my instructing and my personal yoga practice. I move slow, so I'm not one of those super quick yoga practitioners. I like to move, feel each pose in my body, feel my muscles, and become very mindful about where my body is in space. And so if that's a mindset that you like to cultivate, feel free. If you'd rather just sort of tune out, listen to some music, you can do that as well. It's totally up to you. Again, it's your practice. So we'll start by taking our feet together at the back of the mat. Slowly lifting those right toes up to the sky. Bend the knee, tucking the belly button in. Bring that right foot forward in between the hands. Spin the back foot flat to an angle. And rise on up to a warrior one. Get settled in. Find that hip placement, headlights forward. Cactus the arms or allow them to stretch up. Deep breath in. Slowly come back on down to the mat. Step back, high plank. Shift forward, low plank or belly. Inhale. Upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale. Downward facing dog. Feet together at the back of the mat. Left toes lift. Bend the left knee. Bring it on forward. Spin the back foot flat. Rise up. Warrior one. Settle in. Headlights. Deep breath in. Exhale all the way down. High plank. Low plank or belly. Up dog or cobra. And downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Breathe in and lift the heels high. Exhale, bend the knees. Walk forward. Halfway lift. And fold. Sit the bottom back and down. Maybe spread the feet further apart. And come on up into your chair pose. Deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant. Step back. High plank. Low plank or belly. Up dog or cobra. And downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Feet come together at the back of the mat. Right toes stretch up. Bend the knee. And slowly take the foot forward. Back foot spins flat. We rise up. And we come back down. High plank. Low plank or belly. Cobra or upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feet come together at the back of the mat. Left toes come up. Bend and bring it on forward. Spin the back foot flat. And we rise. Stretch up. Maybe even look up at the ceiling. Deep breath in. And exhale down. High plank. Low plank or belly. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in and lift heels. Exhale, bend knees. Walk forward. Halfway lift. And fold. Sit down and come up.
Chair pose. Breathe in and strength. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Hands to the mat, we step back. High plank. Low plank or belly. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Long, slow breath out. Feet together at the back of the mat. Right toes lift up. This time we're going to bend our right knee and stack and open our hip. We'll take a little bit of a hip opener here. Take a deep breath in. Slowly bring that right foot forward. Back foot spins to an angle and we rise. Rise up, breathe in, and exhale, hands to the mat. High plank, low plank or belly, cobra or up dog, downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Feet come together at the back of the mat. Left foot lifts up. Bend that left knee. Knee comes towards the ceiling. We're going to stretch open that hip. Take a deep breath in. And slowly, left foot comes forward. Right foot spins flat. Belly is strong as we rise on up to our warrior one. Deep breath in. Exhale, fold on down. High plank, low plank or belly, up dog or cobra. We meet back in our downward facing dog. Deep breath in, long breath out. Deep breath in, long breath out. Breathe in and lift heels. Exhale, bend. Walk or even jump your feet between your hands if you'd like. Halfway lift. And fold. Sit down and come on up. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Deep breath in. Fold on down. Halfway lift. Hands plant. High plank. Shift forward. Low plank or belly. Cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Immediately bring those feet together at the back of the mat. Right toes lift. Bend and open. Stretch. Slowly take that right foot forward. Spin that back foot to an angle. Rise. Strength. Warrior one. Exhale, fold over. Step back. High plank. Low plank or belly. Cobra or up dog. Meeting back in our downward facing dog. Feet come together. Left foot lifts to the sky, stretch. Bend and open that hip. Take an inhale here. And then slowly exhale as you plant your left foot. Spin the right foot flat and rise. Rise up. Warrior one. Deep breath in. Hands come on down to the mat. High plank. Low plank or belly. Cobra or upward facing dog. Open that heart. And hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Long breath out. And you can take a few breaths here in your downward facing dog. Or you can drop the knees, sit the hips back, and rest in a child's pose.
Coming into our downward facing dog. We'll lift our heels, bend knees, and walk our feet forward. Press into a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to stand. Exhale, sitting down into a chair pose. We'll start with eagle. Taking our right leg, crossing it over our left, and our right arm under our left arm. Bend both elbows and wind up. If the full expression of the posture is a little bit too intense for your body, you can just give yourself a bear hug with your arms. And we breathe. One more deep breath in, long breath out, and we unwind. Back to stand. Inhaling fingertips to the sky, sitting back into a chair pose. This time the left leg comes over and the left arm comes under. Twist. Hugging in the muscles, wrapping the muscles around the bones. Find stillness. Maybe you set your gaze in one spot, your drishti. And we breathe. Deep breath in, long breath out. Breathing in and out. And we'll unwind back to stand. Hands come to heart. Next, we'll come into a tree pose. So tree is nice and grounding and centering. And there's a few variations of tree that you can explore. So we'll start by imagining some roots growing into our left foot. We're going to lift our right foot, and maybe we take our right foot just towards our ankle and press. And this can be your tree pose. So your right leg doesn't have to come up super high. If you feel like you can do a little bit more, you might bring your foot up to your calf. And again, press the foot into the calf into the foot. And you might come up to your upper thigh, but only if it feels good for you, right for your body. And wherever you go in your tree pose, you just want to make sure you don't press your foot into the inside of your knee, because your knee doesn't want to have sideways pressure on it. So from here, we just settle in. Again, maybe we find our gaze, setting our gaze in one spot, tucking that belly button in towards the spine for stability. We'll take 3 breaths together. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. One more deep breath in. And we come down. Maybe shake out. If you're holding on to tension, let that tension release. We'll meet back with hands in front of heart, finding our stability. And now we'll imagine those roots growing down into the earth from our right foot. And we'll take our left foot, maybe to the ankle. You could even leave your toes, your left toes, on the mat, like a kickstand. That's still a tree pose. That's just a less intense variation. The interesting thing about balance is it is one of those things that gets better the more you practice. So you might find that when you first start a yoga practice, some of these balancing poses seem unattainable, but then after you're practicing for a few months or a year, all of a sudden you can do them. So it just takes that consistent practice.
And you eventually learn to kind of settle your body, settle your mind. And then the balance comes. So you can rest your foot into your calf if you'd like. As long as you avoid the knee. That's all that matters. And then maybe you take it to your upper thigh. I'll tell you something about the upper thigh is, here we go. We're going to demonstrate it. Slippery pants. So if your yoga pants are a little slippery, it can be a challenge to keep your foot in place with the inner thigh. That's why sometimes the hot yoga is nice, because it gets you all sweaty. And then not slippery. Breathing in and out. Finding that stability, finding that center. One more breath in, and we release. Check it out. And we'll do one more balance pose here in our balancing series. We'll go for an airplane pose. Now, airplane starts to build some pretty good strength as well, so keep that in mind. Depending on how you're feeling, once again, there might be different levels or layers to your airplane pose. So we'll start by, once again, centering, hands in front of heart. Take the right knee up. Can tell this is going to be interesting for me today. Every day our balance can be different too, even moment to moment. So the more scattered we are, the more wobbly our balancing poses might be. And then we start to kick our leg back. And then we bring our arms to our sides, palms facing down, foot is flexed. Now, if lifting your leg up doesn't feel right for your body, just rest those toes back on the ground. It's okay. You don't have to be floating or flying. In fact, you can build a lot of strength with those toes touching the ground, because I'm really working my left leg here. I'm actually working it more right now than when I lift, because as soon as I lift, I'm starting to use my core a little bit more. So don't feel like if you don't quite have the balance yet that you're not benefiting. You absolutely are, and in some cases you might be benefiting a lot. I like to bind my hands in an airplane pose sometimes. You may not want to do that, but I like to open my heart. And crash my airplane. All right, back to center. There's a concept in yoga called beginner's mind. And so no matter how long you've been practicing, you approach it always like a beginner, because in every moment, our body's different. Our experiences are different. So we'll start by getting grounded. As you can probably tell, I'm not incredibly grounded myself today. And my body's not lying. It knows. Okay. Knee up. Find your drishti or your gaze and start to kick back. And you can keep your hands in front of your heart. In fact, this hands in front of heart for me tends to help me kind of hug into my center line, and it will help me balance on a day when I'm a little more wobbly, like today. So see, I'm pressing my hands into each other, and it's actually helping me with the balance. Setting the gaze is another one that's really helpful for me when it comes to balancing poses. And we'll come back through center. Deep breath in, long breath out. Breathe in, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. High plank, low plank or belly. Upward facing dog or cobra. And finally, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, long breath out. And if you'd like, you can drop your knees and sit back in a child's pose. Okay, so this next stretch is a good one if you sit a lot for your job. So we'll start by just stretching both legs out in front of us, finding a seated posture. You can place a blanket under your hips if you would like to elevate that a little bit. And we'll take, if you have a strap or a towel, you might want to use it, so we'll make sure that's close by. And then we'll take our right foot, stretch it in, placing it on the inside of our left thigh. And again, you can use other props, like you can place a block under your knee if you like. Flexing the left foot, we'll take our right arm up and over and just find somewhere on your left leg for your right arm to place. So it might be on your calf, it might even be up here on your outer thigh. And this might be a really good stretch for your back, so you might want to stay right here. If you feel like you'd like to stretch a little bit more, you can reach all the way down towards the pinky toe side of the left foot. We're going to stretch the crown of our head towards our big toe. And whenever you find a spot where this stretch feels like it's opening up the side of your back and your lower back, you're going to pause there and just continue lengthening the spine. Bring the crown of the head away from the tailbone. Slowly begin to come up, stretch, and then you'll switch sides. So you'll straighten the right leg, take the left foot, tuck it in towards the inner right thigh. Again, you can take a block underneath the knee if you'd like something to rest your leg on. Depends on how open your hips are. And this side, I'll show you how to do it with the strap. So if you would like, rather than reaching for your thigh or your leg, you can loop a strap or a towel around your foot, and then you can grab on to the strap. So lots of options here, and there's no right or wrong with stretching. It's when you find the stretch that feels restorative and helpful for your body, that's where you're gonna stay. And you're just gonna pause and breathe, inviting softness, but continuing to stretch the crown of the head away from the tailbone. We like to engage our muscles as we stretch them. This is one of my favorite stretches to do after activity because you're stretching so many different things at once. So if you do a cardio routine or weightlifting or whatever, you can get a few minutes to do this stretch at the end of your workout. It can be really helpful for your back, your hips, and your arm gets stretched with this one. And then when you're ready, slowly come up out of the stretch. And we'll find some windshield washers side to side. And then we'll make our way onto our backs. And if you'd like, you can take soles of the feet together, knees wide. Further opening those hip muscles. begin with some gentle stretches, moving the knees side to side. Windshield washer with the knees. And we'll begin to come into some gentle core exercises. And so depending on your body, you may modify. You can do just a few, you can do more. Whatever's going to work for you. We'll start with some very gentle bicycle movements. So we'll begin by taking both knees in, placing our hands on our knees, kind of lace our fingers together behind our head, kind of lift up just a little bit, and then we'll take right elbow to left knee and left elbow to right knee. And we'll just alternate, keeping those legs forward, moving slowly. And again, if you are just working on building your strength, you might do just 3 of these and then come back to rest on your back. Otherwise, we'll just do a few, just kind of waking up those core muscles a little bit, getting some strength in. Keeping a strong core can be very beneficial for a lot of things, including your back health, and just so many things. If you lift things, all of that, having a strong core is really going to be key to keeping your body free from injury. And then when you've completed your bicycle stretching, invite the feet back to the floor, invite the head back to the floor, arms can tee out, shoulders, and you'll go ahead and do some more windshield washers side to side. And then you can take both knees and hug them in towards the belly. And maybe make some circles on the ceiling with your knees if you'd like. Switch directions. Giving one more big squeeze. Take both knees to the right. Stretch the gaze to the left. Twist. Then take both knees to the left, gaze to the right. Twist. And then both knees come back through center. And we'll find our final resting posture, which might be Shavasana or corpse pose, where you just allow each leg to straighten out towards each corner of the mat. Tuck the shoulder blades under the back to support your body. Resting the head on the mat, tucking the chin slightly. If laying flat on your back doesn't work for you, you can just plant your feet about mat's width apart, bending the knees, and then tip the knees in like a pyramid. And that's going to feel better for some of our lower back. If you have kind of any issues with that lower back and just laying straight flat on your back doesn't feel good, you can try this. This might feel better. And then invite yourself to just melt into the mat, melt into the ground, and rest in your Shavasana.
Begin to invite some gentle movement into your fingers and your toes. Perhaps you turn your head from one side to the next, beginning to reconnect with movement. Taking one knee and then the other in towards the belly. Give yourself a squeeze and then roll to one side, using your arm to support your head. Yoga fetal position. Rest here on your side. And as we conclude practice, take a moment to just be right here, right now. And then using your arms to support yourself, come back up to a seated, cross-legged position. And take a moment to stretch the spine, crown of the head comes up towards the ceiling. Allow the hands to rest together in front of the heart. Then take a moment to set an intention for yourself. And maybe take a moment to find gratitude. Maybe send some thoughts to someone that you know who needs some positive inspiration or intention. And then taking thumb knuckles up to the forehead center, we share a word that means the light in me sees and honors the light in you. That word is namaste. And so we conclude. Namaste.
If you have any questions throughout your practice, feel free to reach out through the Flex Counseling and Wellness website.